Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm the embodied intuitive and creator of the Body Love Goddess program. Nice to see you. So basically, just wanted to go through a couple of my offerings. Of course, I'm Jennifer Love. I do love readings. I'm an angel intuitive. I'm also a feminine embodiment coach. I do energy work. I call my sessions a body story healing session. I teach feminine movement classes through the Body Story Studio. I have an Etsy shop called Body Story. I sell Reiki infused crystal jewelry. I have a twin flame masterclass with my good friend Avery Rose. If you are interested in that, you can go to twinflame.group. And coming soon, I will have a new online course on angel communication. I'm launching a body positive oracle deck and a self-love journal. I have free manifestation worksheets available for download on my website. There's also a free love meditation if you sign up for my newsletter. And I think that's it. That's enough, right? So today I wanted to talk about, I wanted to put some lotion on my hands actually because it's so dry, and I have the fan on because it's kind of hot in here. Today I wanted to talk about, should men pay for dates, or do men still pay for dates? Because I saw this article written about a Twitter post by a woman named Alex. And first of all, backing up, I am an angel intuitive, and I specialize in doing readings for people in the area of love and relationships. And my clients are not just women. I read for men. It's mostly women. I have to say, mostly women are concerned about their relationships, their relationship status. 80% of my clients are women, but 20% of my clients are men. I had a male client this week, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I myself am on the dating scene, and I have a lot of experience with online dating. I have been dating since at least 10 years. Off and on. I've been in long-term relationships myself. And it's really interesting out there. I'm 46. I've never been shy about telling people my age. And I think it matters a lot how old you are and what generation you come from as to who pays for dates, right? So my stance has always been that on the first date, the man pays. And I've done videos about it and my website and in my YouTube channel, and I've had reasons why and blah, blah, blah. But this particular Twitter it was this woman posted a screenshot on Twitter about a text she received from a man that she was dating. And so she called her name is Alex, and she called this man CK. She didn't put his name, she didn't blast his name, okay? She was very kind. So he sent her this text. Hi Alex, hope you're doing well. Would you mind letting me know what your Venmo is? The reason I ask is since you and I won't be seeing each other anymore, it's only fair to ask for equal payment from you from the dates we went on. I believe it was 3 separate times we went out, bars, restaurants, where I paid for us both each time. I'd say $35 is more than fair for your food and drink that I got you during those dates. I view you as a fair girl. I hope you'll consider reimbursing me. Thanks. First of all, it's my personal pet peeve when a man calls a woman girl. That's my personal thing. I'm not a girl. I haven't been a girl since I was 12. All right? So don't call me a girl. All right? When a man puts in his dating profile, I'm looking for a girl, I'm like, I'm not a girl, so swipe left. That's my personal pet peeve. I'm sure a lot of women don't feel that strongly about it. That's me. Okay. So CK is telling his girl, Alex, that he wants to be reimbursed for the dates that they went on because obviously now they broke up and he's bitter about it. And of course, this was on this was on Twitter. So people obviously chimed in because she posted a screenshot of this text and people were, obviously had feelings about it. I have feelings about it. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So if you have questions or comments, this is a discussion. I want to hear it. Please comment below if you have questions, comments on this topic about if men should pay for dates or anything that I'm saying. Please comment and ask your questions because I want to hear about it. But my main concern about this exchange was that it wasn't that he was asking her to pay for half of her share of the date. It was that he was asking it post breakup, right? It wasn't like they're sitting there at the table and he's like, hey, do you think you could pay for half of our check? It's like they're already broken up and he's asking her to pay for dates that happened like a month ago, right? And that's what I have an issue with. It's not that you're asking me to pay for half of the date that we're on right now, because I don't think a lot of women would have issue with that, honestly. Like, we're on the date, you're asking me to pay my half. Yeah, I'll pay for half. Like, okay, we're here. Like, I can pay my way. But it's funny, like, I've never been on a date where a man's asked me to pay for half. Ever in my life. Ever. I've been on, so I've had a few dating coaches as well, because I took the dating very seriously when I wasn't successful. And to me, being successful was being in a relationship that was long-term and committed. And I was struggling in it, I want to say like years and years ago. Felt like I was struggling. And so I was like, I'm going to get a dating coach because I'm not good at this, obviously, and I want to be better at it. So I got a coach. And I learned a lot from the coaches. And one of the women in my group, the coaching kind of group, kept a log. She had an Excel spreadsheet of all the dates she went on. And when she married her husband, she had been on like 113 dates. And I was just like, oh my God, do I really have to go on 130? I mean, at the time it seemed like so overwhelming to me. Like, that's a lot of fucking dates. Like, I don't really want to go on that many dates. But it was also like a desire to me, like, you got to kiss a lot of frogs to meet your prince, right? And it was motivation to like keep going, right? When those dates don't work out, but if you don't keep going on dates, you're never going to really meet the one, right? So keeping the journal or keeping a log was kind of like, you have to keep going, and that woman to me was successful because she married her dream man and is married and has her husband and whatever. So I started keeping a journal of dating, and it really helps me personally to see how far I've come and all the lessons I've learned. I write a journal. I don't keep an Excel spreadsheet like this woman did, but the Excel spreadsheet helped her. It was just like very brief, she would just keep like what happened on the date or whatever, and one-liners. But to me, I journal it all out, so it helped me, detail what was going on. But getting off track. So I know personally I've been on over 75 dates because I write it down. Not one has the man asked me to pay for the date. And I feel like this is a product of my generation, because I'm 46 years old. It's just not expected. Today, I think it is expected. I know a lot of women that come to me for readings and advice. They do pay for their dates. And I'm like, ew. I just think that's distasteful. Because to me, it shows that this man's not investing in you. He doesn't respect you very much. But I also feel like, there's a lot to be said about people's economic status. And when you don't make a lot of money in your 20s, you can't afford to be shelling out $100 for every date. Now, when you're my age and you're more established, you have lots of money you can afford $100 every Friday and Saturday to be, courting a woman. So it's very different when you're in your 40s and when you're in your 20s. But this man, CK, he should not have been taking this woman out if he couldn't afford it. There are different ways that you take women out on dates when money's an issue, right? You go for a walk, you go for a coffee, you go for an ice cream. You don't have to go out to bars and restaurants if you can't afford it, and you shouldn't if you can't afford it. I am perfectly happy to meet someone for a coffee, because if you don't want to make an investment, if you're not sure you want to take me out to dinner, or you're not sure if you like me or you want to meet me or whatever, like, I'm perfectly happy to meet someone for a coffee if they don't want to make that investment of taking me to dinner. That's fine. Like, I'll meet you for a coffee. That's like $5, right? Like, yeah, but I'm not paying for my own coffee either. Like, you're going to buy me a coffee if you want to take me out. You want my time. And I don't think that's huge. Like, I really don't. So that's why I don't understand this exchange. And then, of course, they're like the people commenting I thought was interesting. This woman named Lauren said, "It's the waiting until afterward to ask that's the issue," which I agree with. He wasn't paying to be nice. He was paying with the expectation of some reward. And that is the issue. He was expecting sex. He was expecting companionship. And then when the relationship didn't work out, he didn't get it. He expected a refund, right? Like, you're a consumer expecting something for the payment, right? That's what's disgusting about it. You're taking a woman out on a date expecting something. If you're taking a woman out and paying for the date, the expectation is that you're going to have company. If you're paying, you're saying, I'd like to treat you on a date. I'm not expecting sex to come out of this. I'm not expecting you to be my girlfriend. I'm not expecting companion, what are you expecting? What's the expectation here? And then this other person named Bree said, I don't appreciate the secret transaction. She called it a secret transaction. You're not aware of the terms until after you've accepted the offer. Don't offer me something under the guise of being generous if that's not what you meant. So that's also true. Like, he's offering something and it's some kind of secret transaction that she doesn't even know what are the terms of this transaction, because after they broke it up, he's asking for the money back, and she didn't know that was the terms of the offer, was that, oh, I'm only taking you out until it doesn't work out and then I want the money back. And then this other man responded, his name's Oscar Aguilera. He said, "This is hilarious. I must be getting old. You pay for the date, and if y'all vibe, then it goes forward, and it was worth the effort, and maybe even a relationship comes of it, and the money was worth it. If not, then you had hopefully at least a good conversation and a meal." Right? That's what dating is. You're supposed to get to know the person over a conversation and a meal, and if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's what dating is. Like, what is this transactional stuff, people? It's not a Venmo transaction. You don't ask for the money back when you're done. I'm not sure what people feel like you can ask for equal payment. I don't get it. So let's go back to, should men pay, right? So this was just an interesting way to bring up the topic, because I just thought it was amazing that this guy asked for money after the fact. So first of all, obviously I don't feel like you should ever ask for money after the fact. But what about at first, right? So here's the thing. I'm assuming that the man is asking you out in the first place. If you're the one asking the man out, then you probably should both pay, because that's an invitation. The invitation is coming from you. So that's where it gets weird. I think if you're both like inviting each other out, or you're like both like, hey, let's go meet somewhere, then that's where it gets gray for me, because I'm always in my feminine. I'm receiving, so I wait until the man asks me out, because it's his invitation, and then my expectation is that he is courting me and he is paying for me. So because I'm in my feminine, I'm receiving. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. When he asks me out, he's paying for the date. This is the first date I'm talking about, okay? First date, he's paying. So if we're going out multiple times, the second date, yeah, I'm offering to pay for something. The tip, the ice cream afterwards, or whatever. The second date and subsequent dates, maybe you pay for the drinks, or maybe you pay for part of something. So the second date, yeah, I've offered to pay for something, and the man refuses because he's a gentleman and he wants to pay for me. So I've never paid for it. I don't get it. Like, on dates, I've like paid for my own valet parking and things like that, for my own car, but I've never paid for dates. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what you women are doing out there, but I don't pay for my dates. Yeah. So, yeah, I've never been with a man who would allow me to pay for the meal or the drinks or anything. I did, I remember on a date, like maybe the third or fourth date, my date was running late and I bought the movie tickets. Yeah, that I do remember doing that once, but yeah, we were dating, and we're pretty much in a commitment by that point. He was my boyfriend, and so that was pretty much like an exchange. I don't know. So I don't know. I think when you're in a commitment, in your committed relationship, you can kind of work out the finances a little bit more smoothly. It's not going to be so transactional at that point. It should be more equal, especially if you earn equal amounts of money. And when you're my age, your earning potential is much different, I think, than when you're 20s and 30s. You're a lot more established and your finances are in a totally different situation, so you can afford a lot more, especially as a woman, so I don't know, but and I really appreciate the perspective of Matthew Hussey. I think he's one of the better dating coaches out there, and Matthew Hussey also says, first date, you should offer to pay for half. I don't agree with that. I think the second date you should offer to pay for half, but he says the first date you should offer to pay for half, but the man should probably say no. But, you know, I think the second date you should offer to pay for half, and I also think the man should say no. But, you know, Matthew says, you know, he feels like as a man, if the woman doesn't offer, it's a red flag. That she doesn't respect or value him as what he's bringing or what he's offering, that she might be taking advantage or be like a gold digger type of, and I don't quite like understand or agree with that. And I think that might be a generational thing between me and Matthew Hussey. He's younger than me, at least 10 years younger. And I don't think my generation sees it like that. I'm certainly not money grubby. I could give a shit what a man is taking. I could pay for my own dinner. Really don't need a man to take me out to dinner. When I'm dating, I'm like evaluating you as a partner, and that's it. Really don't care if we go to a fancy restaurant or Chili's or like Taco Bell. Okay, I really hate Taco Bell, but I just like saying that. Like, honestly, like, or for coffee, right? Like, I don't care if we go for a cup of coffee or if we go out to dinner. I'm evaluating you based on the conversation and your values and what you say to me and how you treat me. Like, I really don't care about the money you're spending or not spending. Seriously, it's not what I'm evaluating you about, because I'm not going for the meal. I'm going for the date. So maybe when you're 25, you know, it matters if you go to like somewhere fancy or somewhere not. To me, don't care. I've been to the nicest restaurants. I've stayed in the nicest hotels. I used to travel for business, and even when I wasn't traveling for business, when I travel for pleasure, I've flown first class. I've stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. Like I've done it. I don't need to be impressed by anybody. So yeah, I don't really care about the fancy anything really. So trying to impress me with money, not gonna work. Don't really care. And men will do that too. Try to impress you with their money. And that's not impressive to me. I'm more impressed with the conversation. So, but yeah, that's what I kind of feel about men paying or not paying. I was really hoping to have more people chiming in about what they thought. But hopefully, as people watch and comment, they will have some more interesting information to say about this topic, or your experiences with dating and whether men have paid or not paid. And hopefully, based on your experience, you can tell me what you have experienced in your dating life, because I'm sure it's different from mine. And I would love to hear what you have to say. But I do feel like it's a huge topic, and I know things are changing out there, and men are kind of getting fed up with how they're being treated. I did want to mention, I had a client this week who, it was interesting, you know, he's having relationship issues with his girlfriend. But it came up that one of the biggest issues with men is feeling respected by their partner. And one of the biggest mistakes you can make is to criticize your partner as a woman. So you don't ever want to criticize your partner in private, and especially not in public. This woman felt like, she said something like, I never envisioned myself, or I envisioned myself with someone more polished. That's what she said to him. And he was really offended. And I think he said something to me like, she's a total slob. Like her house is always a mess. Her dogs aren't well groomed. You know, she doesn't take care of herself. Like, she's really growing to be more unattractive to me in all ways. And I was like, this is going to become a big problem for you too. And then in my reading, it showed that a lack of passion was going to be a big problem for them. And the reason that was because she didn't respect him. And he said one of the areas she didn't respect him in was the fact that, her family came from money and he was very frugal. Despite the fact that he was very intelligent with his money and he'd saved a great deal of money, he revealed that he could retire whenever he wanted to. He had a huge amount in his savings, and he could actually, told me that he could live really frugally because he knew how and he was skilled at it. And he felt like she didn't appreciate that about him because she lived beyond her means. So not only did she not know how to live frugally, she didn't appreciate that about him. So that was the big kind of aha moment for me, was that not only did she criticize, not respect him, she didn't kind of see what he valued about himself, was that the skill that he had with money was that he could save it and he knew how to live on the cheap. And he admired that about himself. That was the one thing that she didn't admire. She liked to blow cash and go through it like crazy. So I just thought that was interesting, the differences that people have with money, and respecting your man, vitally important. So this issue with having the man pay or not pay, I think very much depends on the man you're dating, how he feels about money, how he feels about treating you, and how he values you. And it's all going to come into play when he takes you out on a date and you'll learn it real quick. But I think it has a lot to say about how he values you, whether he pays for the date or not. And in my mind, he doesn't value the interaction as much if he doesn't offer to pay for the date. So when you offer to pay, you better be prepared to pay for it, because he might expect you to, or he might actually take you up on it. So I hope this was helpful for you today, and I hope this was interesting, and comment below if you have any insight into this kind of dynamic, or if you've had any interactions with men that you'd like to share. I'd love to hear it. So you can always find me at jenniferlove.me. So have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.